Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is our final session from the regional webinar series for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. We are very excited to be here with you today and to tell you a bit more about Cambridge and this exciting funding opportunity that we have here at the University of Cambridge. My name is Anna, and I work for the University of Cambridge in the International Student Recruitment and Marketing team. And I support applicants such as yourselves with information, advice, and guidance on the application process and any funding opportunities we have at the University of Cambridge. And with me here today, we have Ian from the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, who will be telling you more about Mastercard. I have a colleague with me, Melissa, who will be helping me with the Q&A section at the end. And we're very excited to have two scholars, former scholars, Mastercard scholars, to share a bit about their experience. So you'll be hearing from them later on in the session as well. Just a bit of housekeeping, just to say that this session is being recorded and you will receive the recording tomorrow. So in case you have not managed to take any notes today, don't worry, you will receive this tomorrow. And another bit of really important information, we have a Q&A box, and we do encourage you to send your questions in the Q&A box. It's really important to like any questions that are already there to enable us to prioritize your questions in case we run out of time. So we're looking forward to receiving your questions, and I'm going to tell you a bit about the session overview. I'll tell you a bit about Cambridge and our postgraduate application process. Then I'll invite Ian to talk about the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. And then a very exciting bit, we'll hear from two Mastercard Foundation alumni as well. And then we'll have time for Q&A at the end. So I hope this sounds okay. Without further ado, I'm going to tell you a bit more about Cambridge. I'm sure that you already know a bit about Cambridge. You know that we are very highly ranked academically. We have a very high quality of teaching. You'll be taught by world-leading experts in whatever subject you'll choose here at the University of Cambridge. And we actually have over 300 courses you can choose from. Our academic community in the postgraduate section, we have over 11,000 postgraduate students. And just to say that almost 60% of these are international, coming from over 130 countries. So you'll be part of a very international community. These scholars come from the African continent as well. And there is also a very vibrant African society here at the University of Cambridge. What is a bit different at Cambridge compared to other UK universities is this collegiate system. And I'm sure that our scholars will tell you a bit more about their experiences with this collegiate system. We have 31 colleges, and they are like a home away from home for our students. You will be applying to the department, but you will also be receiving membership of a college. And this is like a smaller community within the overall university community that offers accommodation. A lot of students would stay in college accommodation or private rented accommodation. There is a lot of support available in college, regular events, and the middle combination room where all postgraduate students join in different events. You'll also have different facilities, study spaces, and so on. Not only that, but apart from your colleges, you'll also have access to a lot of clubs and societies, music, theater, and sports. So there is a lot to do at the University of Cambridge beyond your academic program as well. Cambridge is very close to London, so you'll have access to that large city opportunities, but Cambridge itself is quite small and safe, and I'm sure our scholars will tell you a bit more about living in Cambridge. And just to say that we have been ranked fifth in the world for employability, so you'll be very well supported during your degree and afterwards in terms of your career prospects. Just to go now to the postgraduate application process, I just want to highlight that we wanted to show you the stages of the application process so that you are aware of these and the timeline. But we have a lot of resources that will dive deeper into each one of these. And today we'll mainly focus on the ones that we highlighted here in red. So how to choose your course, checking the deadlines, which is really important. I'm going to talk to you about that. The actual application happens online, and the applications open in September. So you just register online and you fill in all the details and information. You can choose your college preferences. You'll also have to send us the other supporting documents and to speak with your referees. So we'll tell you a bit more about that. The funding application and the scholarship statement, Ian will tell you a bit more about that. You'll submit the application to your chosen department. You might be invited to the interview, and then the department and scholarship selection will happen. So as I said, we'll just highlight the ones in red here for today, but you will receive links to more useful resources for every single stage of this application process. In terms of choosing your course, you do have a QR code here that will take you to our course directory. It's really important for you to check it and to check the entry requirements for the specific course you want to apply to. We do have 6 schools, so we have a very wide range of programs available here at University of Cambridge, and you'll be for you to check specific modes of teaching, assessments, outline of the program, and very importantly, the entry requirements for that particular course. If you want to apply for a research master's, you also need to consider a potential supervisor. But like I said, we have more information on how to do that in other recorded sessions that I'm going to share with you later on. It's really important to check the qualification equivalencies guidelines on our website, and I'm going to explain a bit about what that means. So in terms of entry requirements, we do ask for a university minimum requirement of a bachelor's degree with an overall grade of 2.1 from a UK university or equivalent. So what does this equivalent mean? I have here the website where you can see our international qualifications, and it's quite easy. You can just check the qualifications for your country or region, and you have a drop-down menu there. You can select the country you're from, and then you can easily see what that 2-1, how that is equivalent to the degree from your own country. Some courses might require a high 2-1 or a first. Again, those entry requirements will tell you what the equivalent will be for that. You'll also need an English language requirement, and this is usually an IELTS of 7.5 overall with no component under 7. But again, each course will tell you exactly what that would be. So I have here some examples. I know you're joining us from all over Africa. I have some examples here for Rwanda, Kenya, Ghana, and so on. So you can very easily see what that 2-1 equivalent from your country would mean, what the high 2-1 and the first would mean as well. So these are just some examples. Like I said, you can check for your own country in that web page with the QR code, and that will explain what you are expected to achieve. The next bit I wanted to highlight is the checking of the course and funding deadlines bit. So it's really important for you to apply as early as possible, and you have to submit a fully completed application. So that includes the references by the earliest deadline, and that's usually the funding deadline if you want to be considered for funding. So this is really important. If you want to apply for the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, you'll have to apply by the funding deadline. Just to say that courses have their own deadline as well, but that can close sooner than the advertised course deadline on the website if the department receives enough applications. So again, it's really important for you to apply early and definitely by the funding deadline. And I'm going to show you where to find that information. So again, you have the QR code for the course directory. We have the course directory. You can just type in if you want a particular program. For example, you might be interested in development studies. You just type that in and you go to that course and read a bit about that course in terms of its overview, modes of teaching, learning outcomes, assessment, and so on. So you can definitely read that in your own time. But then the tab on requirements is quite important. You can see you need a high 2-1 honors degree. And then you have, if you scroll down, you have the language requirements. So you can see you need a 7.5 in IELTS, no component under 7. You scroll down, you see all the key information, including the website links. It says the applications open in September, and the deadline for that will be in February. However, if you look at the funding deadline, it says the course funding deadline is in December, on the 2nd of December. That means you must apply by 2nd of December in order to be considered for funding, and this is really important. In your application, they will ask you, do you wish to apply for university funding? It's really important for you to tick yes, because this will automatically consider you for any eligible funds, including the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, um, if you are eligible. So this is just something that we wanted to highlight. In terms of references and other supporting documents, it's really important for you to reach out to your referees in plenty of time. Don't leave it until the last moment, especially if you want to be applying by the funding deadline. You will need these references in by that 2nd of December or start of January deadline, depending on the course you're applying for. So if you have left higher education some time ago, our admissions team will accept professional references as well as academic references. Ensure you do speak with your references before applying, and they are happy to provide these references for you. And they will have to be people that can comment on your academic ability and achievements. It's really important for them to send these references before the department can start considering your application and before the funding deadline, like I said. Other supporting documents would include your CV, the transcripts, a personal statement outlining why you want to study that course, the English language test results, any written work or research proposal in the case of the Masters by Research programs if required. So I would like to hand that now to Ian, who will tell you a bit more about the funding application, including scholarship statement.
Thank you very much, Anna. Yes, my name's Ian, and I'm the Communications Coordinator for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program here in Cambridge. So yeah, just to start this bit off with some clarification then, the scholarship statement, this is very much part of your chosen course's application. So there is no separate application process for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. It's built into your course application. So as Anna mentioned, you will get to the point where you're asked if you wish to opt in for university funding. When you select yes, as long as you meet your chosen course's eligibility criteria and you're from Africa, then you'll see Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program appear in the list. Click that and you'll be asked to submit a 2-page document covering your career or education history, how the scholarship will contribute to your trajectory, and how you hope to contribute to the program themes, which are climate resilience and/or sustainability. So this is your chance then to link your chosen course to our program themes. And I just wanted to offer some reassurance on this now. So we've had scholars studying something like 45 different courses already. So please don't think that, if you're not looking to study conservation or, your chosen course doesn't have sustainability in the course title that you can't apply. That's not the case. What we ask that you do is you think about what these goals look like in your field. So what does sustainability look like for a doctor, if that's what you want to do? What does it look like for an engineer or a teacher? And make the link in that way. So still on the scholarship statement then, we also want to hear about your leadership potential. And that's not necessarily direct leadership experience. You can talk about projects that you've led or responsibilities you've taken on outside of your studies. All and any leadership experience is relevant, and we want to hear about it, please. And then the final thing we want to hear about is your plans. So what do you want to do after you graduate with your master's from Cambridge? And then how will that work go on to create a ripple effect that benefits others?
Thank you, Ian. That was very useful to explain a bit more about the scholarship statement and what is expected of our prospective students wishing to apply for the Mastercard Foundation scholarship. So we're jumping straight into the department and scholarship selection. So if your application will be successful, you first receive an offer of admissions by email from our postgraduate admissions office. So if you apply by that funding deadline I was just mentioning, depending on the course, it's either early December or early January. The offers are typically sent from February, March onwards. And these decisions are based on academic merit. So remember how we were saying you need to have that minimum 2-1 equivalent or a high 2-1 or a first, depending on the course you're applying for. But they are also based on suitability for the course. So why you want to study that course, what skills and experience you have, how you plan to use that course in your future career, so how suitable you are for the course you applied for, but space on the course as well. So remember, like I said, if departments receive enough applications, the um, um, applications will close even if it's before the application deadline window. So this is how decisions are based on. And I'll hand back to Ian just to explain a bit about scholarship selection.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a two-stage process. So as Anna says, first your course will make their selections, and we will then see all of those applications from people who are given places on their courses. So all of those come through to us, and we then review and make offers by, I think it's end of March or beginning of April. I think it was the beginning of April this year. And then you'll have until the 31st of July to submit any outstanding documents, things like proof of English language proficiency. So our shortlisting then is based both on the course application and also the scholarship statement that we looked at just now. Okay, thank you, Anna. So yeah, so I'm now going to give you a quick overview of the program in Cambridge and why we think it's quite a special program. So it was established in 2022. So we're on our fourth cohort of scholars now, and they arrived about a month ago. So we've got 69 scholars from 18 different African countries studying, I think, 41 different courses this year. So it's a really diverse group, both in terms of countries represented and also the expertise and kind of perspectives that scholars bring to Cambridge. And we're really proud of that diversity. So our program themes are climate resilience and sustainability, as I've just mentioned. And because we recognise that there's a really wide range of expertise needed to tackle these huge challenges, it means that you can apply for pretty much any full-time masters at Cambridge. There are 4 exceptions, which I'll cover in just a minute. But other than those, you can apply for any full-time masters program. Thanks, Anna. Next slide, please. Brilliant. So what's covered? So we aim to cover everything you need to really thrive, enjoy your time here and get the most out of it. So that's the big expenses, things like your course fee and your monthly living allowance, but also some of the slightly smaller costs, things like travel to and from Cambridge from the airport. So if you do decide to apply, and you get a place, you come to Cambridge, clearly studying for your masters is going to be your #1 priority. But I think all of us like to think of this program as so much more than a scholarship, because there are lots of opportunities to kind of to learn, to grow much more broadly outside of your studies. So you will become part of a close-knit network of young African leaders. And you'll form close bonds with the other scholars on the program. First at the week-long orientation, which happens before courses start. So generally scholars arrive the back end of September before courses start in October. Then when the academic year starts, we run sort of monthly socials, an opportunity for scholars to come together, catch up, and let off some steam. Then there's a weekend away in January, the Scholars Retreat, which is a nice opportunity to see another part of the UK, get outside of Cambridge and have a bit of a rest after the first term. So leadership skills is also a really core component of the program. So we work with the Cambridge Institute for Sustainability Leadership to deliver training sessions on leadership in the African context throughout the year. Next, we aim to support scholars who either already have their own social venture or want to set one up. And we do that through working with King's College Entrepreneurship Lab. So there's a 3-day residential course. I think it's the end of the year that happens. And then later in the year, we run an entrepreneurship competition. So this is just for Mastercard Foundation scholars. And it involves first pitching your business idea in writing. I think it's a 1-page document that you submit. And then if you're shortlisted, you have the chance to pitch your idea to a panel of judges for a chance to win some quite significant pots of funding for your venture. Finally, then, sort of helping scholars plan and prepare for life after academia is a core component of the program. So whether you want to go straight into the world of work, whether you plan to do a PhD or you want to do a placement somewhere, we will encourage you to start thinking and planning pretty much from the first day that you arrive in Cambridge. And then you'll have regular check-ins throughout the year with our transitions coordinator, Tracy. So you're ready to go. Come graduation day, you've got a plan in place. Thank you. So just wanted to finish by answering 4 of the questions that were asked most frequently. So yes, which courses can I apply for? All full-time master's courses, excluding these 4: accounting, the MBA, corporate law, and Master of Finance. So it's any apart from these 4. Is there an application fee? So there is usually an application fee for applying for a master's in Cambridge, and I think it's £85 now. But all eligible applicants that apply for our program will have that waived, so you won't have to pay it. To be eligible, you just have to be from Africa and meet your chosen course's entry requirements. That said, there are 2 different ways that you can access this application fee waiver. So if you're from one of the countries listed on the screen, you don't have to do anything. So it will just be applied and you won't be asked to pay to submit your application. If, on the other hand, you're from an African country which isn't listed here, you will need to apply for it. And you'll do that by submitting a form. And you can access that form by using that QR code, and it's on our website as well. So all you have to do is submit that form by the 15th of November. And as long as you are eligible, there'll be no application fee to be paid. Okay. So, can I apply if I haven't taken IELTS or don't have results yet? Yes, definitely. So, if you are successful and you're offered a place, you'll be given a conditional offer, and then you'll have until the 31st of July to submit any outstanding documents, and that includes IELTS results. So, if that's you and that happens, we can then support you in taking your IELTS. So, we can send you study materials. We can send you a voucher for covering the cost of taking the test. And actually, if you have to travel to another country to take it, then we can sometimes help with the cost of that as well. 2 things to note. One is that there is one exception, which is at the bottom of the slide here. So the Master of Law, you'll need to provide that evidence up front. And the only other thing I wanted to say on IELTS was every year there are a number of students who are given places on the program, but then don't get IELTS and therefore can't take those places up. I think it's more than 10 scholars every year that we have, which that applies to. So just encourage you to not take passing for granted and give it, due consideration if you do have to get IELTS. Thanks, Anna. Cool. Final one from me then. So how should I choose a college? So as Anna mentioned earlier, there are 31 different colleges. You'll be a member of one of these. That's where you'll live, you'll socialize, and you'll have some of your small group teaching sessions as well. So there's lots of information on the Postgrad study website about the different colleges. They've all got their own website. But there are 3 factors that we just recommend keeping in mind. So cost, this can vary quite a bit across the different colleges. And as you'll be paying your rent out of your living allowance, something to bear in mind. Next, facilities. So just have a look at what makes each of the colleges unique. So some are specifically for more mature students. There are some colleges that are female only. Some have world-class sports facilities on site. Many have chapels. So just have a think about what's important to you and how you might want to spend some of that downtime and bear those things in mind when choosing college. Great, thank you. That's all from me for now. So I'm now going to introduce program alumni. So Elias and Christiana, who've both graduated this summer and very kindly agreed to come along and share their experiences with you all. So thank you very much to both of you for coming. And I'd love to start with Elias, if I may.
Hello.
Hey,
Can you
Elias.
hear?
Yep, we can hear you. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you all. So my name is Elias, and I am from Ethiopia, and I studied a master's in population health sciences, specifically in the theme of epidemiology. I am proud to say that I'm also a Mastercard Foundation alum, and I'm happy to be here today. So, yeah, does Christiana want to?
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here to share my experience. So my name is Christian Osini. I am a Nigerian and I finished from the Department of Plant Sciences. So my course is specifically MPhil in Biological Sciences, the crop science pathway. And I was a member of Wolfson College, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. So, Elias, would you mind telling us a bit about your experience, both in Cambridge and with the application, please?
Of course. So let's start with the application first. So I'm gonna be honest, when I applied, I did not think I was gonna make it. And it felt like I did it because I just didn't want to regret not applying. I mean, that's the only reason I did it, because I just didn't believe I would get it. And I'm pretty sure there's some of you who are thinking the same thing. But I want you to know, as long as you're eligible for the course, you deserve to apply and you will certainly make it. So I want you to be confident and just apply to the best of your abilities. So the application was pretty much what Anna and Ian described. I would recommend that you put just a lot of thought in it. Just make sure it's a good application, because it is a competitive course and a competitive scholarship. And please do attend the pre-application mentorship program if at all possible. For me, unfortunately, I did not attend such mentorship opportunities, and it was a bit difficult for me, and I did not believe it when I saw the offer. The course was like, my experience at Cambridge was exactly how I expected it. It was, of course, a bit intense because it's a 10-month course with a very crammed schedule. But it was enjoyable and extremely, extremely educational, informative. I think it's an essential path for my career, and I'm very, very happy that it was a part of my academic journey. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elias. Wonderful response. Thank you. Christiana, can we ask you the same question, please?
Yeah, so I was a bit luckier because I have somebody that already applied, like they finished the year before me. So I had the support that I need for the application. So what I got was that I had to start early and then go to the website and know the eligibility criteria and see how I fit in into the course that I wanted to like come in for. So, and that really helped a lot. And then I was able to write my SOP to see how my past experiences has prepared me for Cambridge and what I wanted to come to Cambridge to learn and how that will help my future and what my future and how my future will help Africa and the global world. So that really helped me to prepare for it. And then I gave my essay to many people to review for me, and that brought like many feedbacks, and I reviewed it over and over, and yeah, it worked out. Yeah, and for the Mastercard, the leadership aspect, just like he said, that it doesn't have to be oh, you already found out something in the scientific world. It can just be the experiences you had during your research, how you contributed, how you were able to lead in that position, like all the experiences that you had and what were your responsibilities. It can be that. And it is very important in applying to Cambridge and Mastercard Foundation Scholarship that you are really thinking in African context. So it doesn't have to be, though the theme for Mastercard is climate resilience and sustainability, but it doesn't have to be only in the agricultural sector, because some people think, oh, agriculture is, climate is affecting the food and all of that, but almost every other thing actually relate to sustainability. We have so many goals, so many SDG goals. So you can just see how your course of study relate to that and be able to like point out your own sustainability from that. So that also really helped me a lot. And then transitioning into life in Cambridge, that went kind of smoothly because we had all the resources that we needed, the orientation program, the alumni body, the French African Society. We had even the departments. Like when you come into the Mastercard Foundation program, you definitely have somebody from your home country. Like it's been like that. You have somebody that you kind of had the same culture background. And even if it's not like from your country, just somebody that understands you, that gets you. So the transition was kind of easy for me. And because I have like past seniors that finished way before me, I was able to ask questions. And when it came to my department, I was a bit scared because what we've heard was that the supervisors can be very passive and very respectful and not like say their mind. They will just be very respectful to you. And then during the orientation program, I think that was dealt with. We dealt with imposter syndrome. We dealt with how to handle finances, and then we also dealt with like communicating with your supervisor. Tell them this is how you want to be supervised. Tell them to be very not like blunt. It's not like they're going to hurt you, but tell them that, oh, you really want their honest feedback, then you'll be able to connect with them. So transition was actually very good. And talking about college, the college, the teachers were very, very supportive. So in Cambridge, it's more like everybody is your colleague, especially when you go for formals. It's one of the things I enjoy. You just sit with, a very big person that you read in papers and you've always looked up to. You just have conversations with them. So I think the transition was awesome for me. But I had a little bit of issue in the research area because the time was very short. As Elias said, it was 11th month course for me, but the time I had for my project was just 6 months. And the project is a research project that even my supervisor said, oh, this is not something you take 6 months to do, but you have all the support that you actually need to succeed at the University of Cambridge. So you don't have to be scared. Just give it a go. So my students' experience was actually good because I learned everything I wanted to learn. I was just like very open with my supervisor. "Oh, I need this for my next step." And also in the SOP, it's very good that you're very clear about your goal because that will also help you to know, okay, am I learning what I wanted to learn? What is necessary for my next step? What is necessary for me to give back to the community? Am I learning that? So if you're very clear about what you want to come to learn, and then when you eventually come here, you'll be able to say, okay, yes, okay, I am getting this, I am getting that. This is the next step for me. And then you'll be able to seek help from anybody that you think can help you. So yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Christiana, for sharing all of that. Is there anything you'd like to add, Elias, before we move on? And how was your transition to life in Cambridge? Was it as you expected, or how did you feel? No worries. Anything to add, Elias, before we move on?
Sorry, I accidentally muted myself and I was talking.
No worries.
So yeah, the transition to Cambridge was it was actually very smooth for me because of the efforts of the Mastercard Foundation as well as my college and the department. Um, I did not feel like a fish out of water, which is what I had initially expected. Um, Whatever you're interested in Cambridge, there's a society for it. And if by some chance there isn't, you can found one and have numerous members in a week. Um, so whatever hobbies you have, you can just have a society for that, and a bunch of like-minded students will be right there with you to make you feel like at home. And the Mastercard Foundation does a the Scholars Program does a very good job um, at helping students um, form a sort of camaraderie. They have like pizza nights and formals, so you can meet every now and then, even with students who are not in the same course, and just make connections. You will feel at home, and I did not for a second feel like I was away from home. Um, so it was a very smooth transition, thanks to you guys.
That's very kind. Thank you. And that's really lovely to hear that you felt that way. And it went so smoothly for you. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry, may I?
Please, Christiana. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'd also like to add the transitioning out of Cambridge, because that really helped me a lot. Somebody that we started our MPhil in September, and I know that in my career, I really need to gain like independence in research and gain more advanced skills. So I knew that to where I'm going, I had to do a PhD immediately after my master's. And to do that, the PhD is supposed to start in October, and I had to finish my MPhil in September, August, September. So there won't be time to start applying after I have completed my MPhil. I had to start applying before even starting MPhil. So the transition program organized by Mastercard helped me to be able to think about it, because it was sent forward form. I had to like think to fill the form, and that actually helped me to like launch into action, because okay, I said, oh, this is what I need, this is what I have to do, and I have to give report, because they checked in every time. Have you done this? Are you doing this? Is this what you're doing right now? So that really helps me to be able to handle both like MPhil and then having to apply for PhD. And to the glory of God, I am doing my PhD now, though I just finished my MPhil. So I think the transitioning out of Cambridge is also a very beautiful part of Mastercard Scholar Program that I really benefited from.
That's amazing. Brilliant to hear. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing that. I think it might be time for the Q&A, Anna, if that's okay with you guys.
No problem. Thank you very much, Ian, for all that very useful information about Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, and thank you so much to Elias and Christiana for for sharing your experiences and sharing your advice and tips to our prospective applicants, and also highlighting not only the transitioning to life in Cambridge, but then transitioning out of this life in Cambridge. And congratulations, Christiana, for your PhD as well. And it was great to hear all the support you both received from the college, from the university, and from the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. So I just have a quick last slide before we go on to Q&A. We have a lot of information available for you. I'm going to send all of these links in the chat as well, so that you can take it from there. The Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program has a brochure, so you can scan this QR code and get to that brochure. But don't worry, when I send you the recording link tomorrow, you will also receive all these resources and links as well. But just to highlight that, of course, the Mastercard Foundation team has this brochure and the website. We have our own website with a lot of information. We have a virtual tour, so you can explore departments and colleges online if you can't come here in person prior to you starting the course here. You can chat with current students via the Unibody platform as well, so you can ask them about their own experience, about any questions you might have have about the courses. We have Discover Cambridge recordings, which are really useful to dive even deeper into that application process. I know we barely touched the surface today, but we have a lot of sessions on how to approach supervisors if needed, or guides to the interviews for your courses and so on. I did mention the African Society. They have a website and an Instagram page in case you want to give them a follow to see what they are up to and what sort of activities they are happening for our African students. And just to say that if you do have any specific questions about your course, you can contact the department. If you have specific questions or technical questions about the application process, you can contact our postgraduate admissions team. I'm going to send you the link to our frequently asked questions as well, because we have loads of questions that have already been answered. So it'd be really good to try and look for your answer there first. And I know Ian mentioned they have an email as well. He'll put that in the chat too. So there's a lot of resources available and a lot of support for you. So I think I'm going to pass now on to my colleague, Melissa, who has been very helpfully answering lots of questions in the chat. And we will address some of these live.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anna, and thank you so much, Ian, Christiana, and Elias. So I have tried to answer questions that were about minimum entry requirements by guiding people to the part of our postgraduate study website where you can find by country what is the equivalent of a UK first class, upper second class, and so on. So you can check if you are meeting the minimum requirement for the course that you may be interested in applying to at Cambridge. And there were also lots of questions about the IELTS test. So I tried to answer those, but we may do a bit of recap before we finish the session. One question I had here was if people can apply to 2 different courses and then choose a different funding option for each. For example, selecting that they want to be considered for Mastercard Foundation for one course and a different type of funding for another course. So I will ask Ian to maybe answer this question.
Yes, it's a good question. So we're often asked if people can apply for more than one course through our program. So the quick answer is yes, technically you can. But we recommend that you don't. As you've already seen, it's quite a involved application process, and involves sort of submitting lots of supporting documents and references and all sorts. So the recommendation that we generally give is to apply for one course. Think about which course that you're most suited to and really want to apply for, and go for that one and make that as strong as possible. The other thing to say is that you're only covered for one application fee waiver. So if you do choose to apply for more than one course, then you will have to pay that £85 application fee for any course after the first one.
Okay, there's another question here. Is the number of awardees going to be increased this session, meaning for those that will enter or start their course in October 2026? So the number of scholarships, if it's going to remain the same or increase?
Yeah, great question. So I think we're aiming to make about 80 or 90 offers actually for the next year. So it will go up slightly, but it's not going to go up a significant amount because we want to be able to keep offering that same level of kind of support and opportunities. So yeah, the maximum it will go up to is perhaps about 80 scholars, I think.
Okay, we had this question quite a lot, so I hope by answering this one, everyone else will ask the same thing. Yeah. I will mark it then as done, but can people who have already completed a master's degree apply for the Mastercard Foundation Master's Scholarship?
So if you've got a master's from an African university, yes. The rules are slightly different. If you've got a master's for somewhere else in the world, then it's often that you can't apply for this. But yeah, if your master's is from an African university, yes, you can.
Okay, and there were several questions from participants from Nigeria regarding their language of teaching being in English, both for their bachelor's or for their for their qualifications, whether they still need to take an English test. I think the answer is yes, but there are some options in terms of, for example, being eligible for our own language center assessment. Can you maybe just recap on the IELTS test requirements, especially for Nigeria and Kenya, as we received a lot of questions from both countries.
Of course, yeah. So our recommendation is to do IELTS. There are, as you say, some exceptions, and I think for both Kenya and Nigeria, they're on a list of countries. I can't quite remember what Cambridge calls them, maybe List B countries or something. And if your country is named on that list, it means that you are eligible to take your language test through Cambridge's own language centre if you choose to do so. There are pros and cons of that. I think the pro being you're not charged, although saying that we will cover the cost of taking IELTS if you want to do IELTS. And I think it's a shorter test. The cons of doing that is I believe that has to happen after you are awarded a place on your course. So you then have a sort of narrowing window of time after you're offered a course and before the sort of deadline to get that qualification done. So our recommendation is to do IELTS, but yes, I think you can use Cambridge's own language centre if you're from Kenya or Nigeria, and we can share a link to that list of countries.
Christiana, I saw you raising your hand. Did you want to contribute anything to that?
Oh, yes, but I think Kieran already covered that. So it is
Okay.
kind of cost specific. So there are some courses, even if you're from Nigeria, you still have to take the IELTS. But for my course, crop science, there is an option of taking the exam or taking from the university. So you can choose between. So, but some courses do not. Some course is very, very specific that it is higher. It's cost specific, even if you're from Nigeria or Kenya.
Okay.
Yes,
So
thank you for that clarification, Christiana. Yeah, that's really helpful.
Another question that I would like our two scholars to maybe give their insights. It's about the essays in terms of the scholarship statement. What type of applicant are you looking for? How do you differentiate yourself in the essays? How do you stand out in terms of what you talk about in your scholarship essay or statement? The person here was given an example, like they have leadership roles during university, both international and African focused programs. So should they mention this type of achievements or experiences? You talked a little bit about this, Christiana, when you were talking earlier, but maybe to just anything that you think would help a person stand out when they're writing their statements.
Okay, so I'd say just use your voice, be very authentic. I mean, your story is your story. You have to tell your story yourself in the way you want the other person to hear it. So all the experiences that you have, and you have to filter. I think it really helps if you see, okay, this is what is required. Go to the Mastercard, Mastercard website and say, okay, this is the eligibility criteria. What are they looking for? Then write down all the experiences you think you have that suits that, then start narrowing it down, because you have to really you want to write something that is relating to what you're coming here to do. You don't just want to put all your experiences just because you have leadership experience. And I think balance really matters. Like you have to be able to balance academics, leadership, and then giving back to the community in the Mastercard essay. You don't just want to say, oh, you have all this experience, you have all this experience. What has that experience is done for the world? What have you been able to, to do with all these experiences or all the certificates or all the awards you said you have? So you have to be able to say, okay, yes, this is what I have done, and this is how it has helped me to help the community, and this is why I want to come to Cambridge to learn all those things, and this is why the experiences I have had has prepared me for Cambridge, and after gaining all those things from Cambridge, this is how it's going to help me to be able to also give back to the community while improving on myself. So you just have to have the balance and be able to say, okay, yes, this is how my story goes. And I tell you, if thousands of people have the same experiences, when you write your story, it will definitely be different, even if you interned or volunteered for the same thing. Because what I want to do to benefit the world is different from what you want to do. So you have to be very authentic in your own writing and like use your voice. Thank you.
There's another good question that I would maybe ask Elias if you want to give your insights, which is when you were selecting or when you were deciding which course to apply at Cambridge, the question is, how can I collect enough information about the courses so that I can choose the most suitable one? So maybe if you reflect back on your experience of narrowing down your choices to one course that you wanted to apply to, besides, you know, going on the course directory, department website, were there any other sources of information that you used to decide which course to apply to?
For me, fortunately, it was quite straightforward. There was only one course that fit my background perfectly,
Okay.
but I can see why choosing a course could be a problem for some people due to the many choices they've got. In that case, I highly recommend going on LinkedIn and connecting with students who are doing courses that we're interested in. So connect students in all the courses and ask them if, ask them which course fits their background better and whether they recommend it for them or not. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. How about you, Christiana? Did you check any other sources beyond the department website for the course?
Yeah, so for me, I had like two options, but well, it still wasn't the departmental website because when I went out there, though I am interested in agriculture and how to, you know, improve sustainability, farming and all that, but I had a class that I wanted to be able to improve the livelihood of smallholder farmers. That was also what I am interested in. And out of the two courses, one was like actually focusing on translational because I think, okay, if I'm learning all those things, just don't find things out, apply it to actually help people. So one was really focused on that and the other wasn't focused on that. So knowing what I really, really wanted helped me to narrow down the course and say, okay, yeah, this is what is suitable for me. And I had to also reach out to a senior because I don't know, everybody in agriculture can actually differentiate between these things. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. And so I communicated with her and I said, okay, yeah, this is what I am saying. Is this how it actually is? Because she already went through the process and can say, okay, yeah, this is what has been happening in Cambridge before, you know, how come? So it really helped talking to somebody that has done that before. And I think just as Leah said, you can go on LinkedIn and search for people by, I think by department now or by course and all that, and you can reach out to everybody will be very much helpful. Like they will be willing to help if you're having issues choosing your course.
Thank you so much, Christiana. We have a question here, I think for Ian, which is about the Cambridge Africa Changemakers Scholarship for PhD applicants that is related to the Mastercard Foundation. They would like to know if the selection process and criteria are the same. That's related to another program.
Yeah, it is a separate program and it does have different criteria and different approach for selecting applicants as well. So I'd recommend looking at that separately.
Okay. It's also on the website, right? On the
yes, it's not it will be on Cambridge's website, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So we have a question. So people who have already filled out the application fee waiver form, but haven't received any confirmation. So the question is, will the confirmation and response be sent only after November 15th deadline?
No, that will come. I'm assuming these people haven't done so all that long ago. I think the team is trying to turn these around in about 5 days, so 5 working days. So I'd expect to hear back in that time. I think we've just hit the peak kind of time for these coming in, and there's so many hundreds and hundreds to be manually handled. So I think they will come back to you within 5 days.
Great. I think we have time for about a couple more questions. There's a lot of questions coming in, but Anna has shared the links where you can find all the information and all the answers to this. But there is a good question here. I think, what happens if I don't get selected for the scholarship? Should I reapply next year, or should I forget about Mastercard?
I wouldn't forget about it. No, I would apply the following year, 100%. So I know from having spoken to several scholars who have applied 1 year, more than 1 year, and then have got in. It's yeah, please don't give up. It might be that you can actually submit a stronger application the following year, having had more time to do other things. So yeah, please don't give up and don't think it's one and done with this. Thank you.
And another question regarding the maintaining the scholarship, which is the scholarship periodically assessed on the basis of GPA to reevaluate scholarship status? Meaning, can people lose the scholarship halfway through their program? Is there a periodical assessment of GPA? I think the answer is no, but
correct. No,
yeah.
that's not something we do. No.
Yeah. Just make sure you do the best you can to graduate, basically. Yeah. Okay, I'm just checking. There's a final question: how to join the mentorship program? So I think the details are available on the Mastercard Foundation website in terms of finding the contact details for the team. Is that correct?
It's a good question, that. So the mentorship program that Elias mentioned is the Cambridge African Mentorship Program, and it's run by ASCU, which is the African Society. I've just had a quick look, and I think the deadline for that has passed. I think it was end of July, I think, maybe August, because it's quite in depth, sort of, often small group or one-to-one mentorship stuff. So I think that's passed. That said, our team are running a separate series of webinars that go into the application process in more detail and kind of dive into each section and help people apply with those. So you can definitely attend those. And for any that you've missed, you can go back, I believe, and watch them. So we can share details with you if you want to attend those ones. But the camp one, I think the deadline is passed, but do double check that on their website.
Okay. Final question. If Christiana, Ian, Elias, are you able to stay for a couple of minutes? It's what happens after the program ends if you get the scholarship. I guess it means, after you complete your master's degree at Cambridge with the foundation scholarship, what happens after? What do you look forward to as a alum of the program?
Yeah, so I'd love to hear from Christiana and Elias on this, but from our point of view, it's the support and the kind of connection that we hope to have built with you doesn't end at the point of graduation. So we really want to stay connected with all of our alumni. We also continue to offer that transition support after graduation. I think it's at least 6 months that you can continue to kind of work with our transitions coordinator on your plans post graduation. So we hope to kind of just build this kind of family of alumni. Anything you guys want to add, that'd be really helpful.
That's very true. The transitions team is a very useful part of the transitions process. When even before we graduated, they asked us what our plan was, and they gave us like little reminders and tips along the way. They even assigned us kind of mentors, postdoctoral fellows and PhD students to help us realize those goals. And even after we have graduated, there's a transitions support team for scholars who go back to Africa. So all that, I think, is very helpful for graduates as well as students.
Okay, so I'm just trying to type a few. Yeah, Christiana.
Okay. Yeah, so it depends on what you really want to do after. Anything you want to do after, there is support for it. If you want to go into entrepreneurship, there is support for that. If you want to continue to gain more skills through PhD, there is support for that. And if you think you want to have more experience in the industry, there is internship that you can go for and take up that, and then during the internship you can start thinking about the next step. And also there is Baobab for like all the Mastercard scholars that you can join and gain more. It's like the community of all Mastercard Foundation scholars, and the community also help and to support, and you meet with people that are already doing stuff already, and you can gain insight and connect with other people. Yeah. And I'm sorry, there is one thing that I remember that I wanted to share about references. So in one of the orientation programs that Wolfson College organized, we're told about the the mystery of references. So apparently, there is a score assigned to the degree of, I don't know, the class of your referee. Either person is a professor or a doctor or like somebody that just finished PhD. So just make sure that your referee are people that have good reputation, that people can look up to. Like when you search for them, you know, okay, yeah, this person actually have good reputation, not just somebody that just finished MSc. But the first criteria should be they really know you. They should have been with you for, I don't know, like 4 years. They really should know you, and then they should have like good high ranking in whatever they're doing. That actually also helped to, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, all right. And one final question about the colleges. This is the only college-related question I've gotten for Christiana. Can you maybe tell us a bit of the pros and cons of the college that you are in or were in?
Okay, so
What did
I
you like,
was,
didn't like?
yeah, I was in Wolfson, and one of the beautiful thing about Wolfson is their library. So they have good library, and they have writing sessions, support for that. They can like learn to write academic writing and all that. But my college was very far from my institute. I was at NIOB, but because the word I am interested in is only at NIOB. So I had to let go of proximity for what I am interested in. But it's beautiful that there is cycling. Cambridge is like very big on cycling, and you can get to anywhere from anywhere. So that wasn't an issue. But some other colleges, you have to pay for laundry. But in my college, no, laundry is free. So you can also, I'm sorry, you can also take that into consideration when like choosing a college. And my college is very diverse. Like different people from different courses. I think there are some colleges that are more focused on some particular area of science. I'm not sure, but Watson is very diverse. That you'll be able to meet different things, and this can help you with, you know, learn different cultural backgrounds and help you to think outside what you are already comfortable with. So you can also reach out to people from other colleges to learn about your college. And I think reaching out to somebody that has done your course also helps, because they'll be able to know, okay, where are you going to be based in terms of department and other institutes, and how which colleges are very close to that, and be able to advise you on, you know, colleges.
Great, thank you so much. So there's still lots of questions coming in. We're not going to be able to answer all of them, but as I said, please make sure that you check our websites that we have put on the chat, and that you also receive via email after the session today alongside the recording of this webinar. And if you have any questions after, there's email addresses that you can write to get a specific answer, especially if you have an unusual qualification. For example, if the length of your degree is shorter than 4 years or longer, or you have some special circumstances in terms of your studies, you're more than welcome to contact the university. That does have no impact or no negative impact on your admission chances if you ask these questions before you apply or as you're completing your application form. So I think we're going to close the Q&A now.
Thank you very much, Melissa, and thank you very much, Ian and Christiana and Elias, for sharing all of that really useful information. I did send a lot of links in the chat, and I'm sending this link to how to contact our postgraduate admissions team as well. You have some links for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. And remember, when you look at the course database, you also have all the links to your departments in case you have departmental specific questions. But like our scholars have said, please feel free to reach out to previous scholars as well, and don't be afraid to talk with our current students on Unibody, like I said, and I shared on the chat as well. It's really good to get as much information as you can, and to be guided and to receive that sort of guidance for your own application applications. But we hope this has been useful. Like Melissa mentioned, this has been recorded. You will receive the link to the recording tomorrow. I know some of you were asking about this. And we wish you best of luck with your studies and with your applications. And fingers crossed, we hope to see some of you here in Cambridge next year. So good luck, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your days. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.